Did you know that state tax audits on companies are increasing? Yes, increasing, with a major focus on consumer use tax. And not just in a company's home state, but in all the states where they purchase or use their goods. So how do you know if you're consumer use tax compliant? A lot of businesses assume that if they pay their vendor invoices, including the sales tax, they have no further liability. This is simply untrue. Let me explain how consumer use tax works. Consumer use tax is imposed by states on a buyer when an out-of-state vendor doesn't collect sales tax, thereby transferring the consumer use tax burden to the buyer. Uh-oh. Additionally, consumer use tax may be due where the taxable goods or services are actually used, which may be different than where they were initially received. In order to be tax compliant, a buyer has to audit their purchases and usage, then identify and self-assess consumer use tax where it applies. Yep, you guessed it. This is complex stuff, and it's overlooked or mismanaged by most companies. Let's walk through some questions. You'll thank me later. Does your business purchase centrally and redistribute goods to other states where they'll be used? License cloud-based software or services with distributed usage. Purchase otherwise taxable goods for manufacture or resale and later decide to use them internally. Purchase taxable goods or services from a vendor that doesn't charge and collect the correct state and local sales tax. If you answered yes to any of these questions, you may be worried. And the reality is you're likely liable for consumer use tax. On the flip side, you may be overpaying sales tax based on how and where you actually use the goods you buy. Good news for some of you, right? So what's the impact of all of this? Well, businesses need a way to accurately assess and report where, how, and when purchased products are being distributed and used, especially since we know that consumer use tax is a major focus of most state audits. But how? Most people manually self-audit, but this is complicated, time-consuming, and can be costly to you and your business. Thankfully, there's a technology solution. Avalara can lower your compliance risk by automating your consumer use tax compliance process. Connect with Avalara today and automate self-assessment of consumer use tax liability across your business.